Are you looking for the best flip phone that can do everything you need? Well, today I'm going to compare two of the best options on the market. The OPPO Find N3 Flip versus the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. I'm Captain Awesome and this is Geekception. Make sure you hit that subscribe button if you like what I do here, as it will really help me a lot. Let's start with the design. Both phones have a foldable AMOLED display that can transform from a mini phone into a full-size phone with just a flip. But there are some differences in how they do it. The Find N3 Flip has a slightly bigger screen, unfolded at 6.8 inches. They say size does not matter, it's about what you do with it, because on the Z Flip 5 here on the Samsung, while the screen is 6.7 inches, which is slightly smaller, it is sharper than the Find N3 Flip. The outer display is where things get interesting. The OPPO Find N3 Flip has a smaller screen on the outside at 3.26 inches, and OPPO promised that you can run apps on it even though it requires a software update. The Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5 has a bigger screen on the outside at 3.4 inches, and it lets you run almost any app you want to run right now. Which one do you prefer? Let me know in the comments. One thing that sets these phones apart is the crease that forms where they fold. On the OPPO Find N3 Flip, you can barely see it or even feel it. It's like having a smooth and seamless screen all the time. On the Galaxy Z Flip 5, while it is reduced from the previous generation, you can definitely still see it and feel it, especially when the phone is off or when you look at it from certain angles. In terms of hardware, both have similar specs but not exactly the same. The OPPO Find N3 Flip has a MediaTek Dimensity 9200 processor, which is like a fast and reliable card that can get you where you need to go, while the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5 has a Qualcomm Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor, which is like a super card that can go from 0 to 60 in seconds. Vroom vroom. Now the camera, in my opinion, is where the OPPO Find N3 Flip really shines. It has a zoom telephoto camera in addition to the wide and ultra wide cameras, which means that you can enjoy true optical zoom on this camera. Now this is great for your portrait shots and for taking photos of things that are far. And best friends, I have to admit to you that I'm a sucker for zoom cameras, and on the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5 here, the camera is great, but I would have just loved if it had that zoom camera. Now battery life is another thing to consider when you are getting flip phones, because they don't have the biggest batteries. Or do they? Now here, both phones have a dual battery system that splits the battery between the two halves of the phone. But the OPPO Find N3 Flip has a bigger battery at 4300 mAh compared to the 3700 mAh that is on the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5. The OPPO also has faster charging with 44 watts compared to just 24 watts on the Z Flip 5. Now both phones support wireless charging and also wireless reverse charging, which means that you can charge something like your watch or even other phones. Which one of these phones will you choose for your battery needs? Let me know in the comments down there below. One unique feature that the OPPO Find N3 Flip has is the alert slider on the side of the phone. This slider allows you to quickly switch between silent or ring modes on your phone, and I found it very handy, especially if you're watching a movie or you just want your phone to go silent. And the Samsung Galaxy Z Flip 5 definitely does not have this feature. So after comparing these two flip phones that are at the top of the range right now in both battery, performance, display and everything, which one is better? Well, there is no definitive answer here because it all depends on your needs and what do you want. As for me, I would say when it comes to the OPPO Find N3 Flip, you definitely get a slightly bigger display. You don't actually notice it. You get a vertical display on the outside instead of a landscape one on the Z Flip 5, which can be useful if you're watching TikTok or anything on the outside display because it makes much more sense. And you get that telephoto camera, which I love particularly myself. And with the Z Flip 5, what I've experienced is that I like the brighter display here. It's nice to use outdoors. The performance is so good because of that latest Snapdragon, and the display on the outside is square, but I love it for taking photos and selfies. So really it depends on your own use case and what you want. But no matter which one that you choose, you cannot go wrong with either phones here, as they're both fantastic marvels of technology for just how far we've come when it comes to putting phones to our ears, if people even do that anymore with phones. And that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate you, and if you've liked it, don't forget to leave a like, subscribe so you don't miss future videos. And as for me, I'm your Captain of Awesome. This is Geekception, and I'm from Naija with love.